Couper saw a very early version of the cut of this movie and thought there was really something special in it, and showed it to me. And we thought it's really hard to scare people now with found footage movies, and this one really does it effectively. And so both of us kind of jumped at the opportunity to leap in and try and get it out there in the world.
It's really hard to make one great scare in a movie, let alone the 5 or 7 that this movie had. And the other thing that we always find really challenging with found footage movies is the performances, and getting really naturalistic performances that also do all the dramatic work that they need to do. And so this movie, the version that we saw originally, had great performances. Chris Loafing and Travis Clough directed the film, produced and directed the film, and wrote the film. And as far as we know, did everything else in the film. Did craft services, did casting, did extras casting, did location scouting. They're just two friends from who live in Fresno. Chris is originally from Nebraska, and a lot of the story is kind of based on some mythology from his hometown in Nebraska. But they are just pure self-taught autodidacts who just went and did it on their own, and did a great job. And it's really hard to do it when you're completely outside of the system and do it well without any training. And they just prove that anything is possible if you just have a good idea.
I've just found them incredibly impressive. They listen, they cooperate, and they like I said, a lot of people, you suggest something and then 2 days later you have a cut of it. And they don't complain, and they have every kind of trait of directors who are going to go on to have huge careers in the TV and movie business.
Yeah, they really just they enjoy the craft of it enough that the doing it is kind of its own reward for them on some level. So that some people might be really frustrated by notes or by and they really just take them in the spirit in which they're given, which is that, like, we all love this thing and we want to make it as good as possible. And they really they just did a kind of an incredible job of doing stuff on their own. And even when we helped with a little bit of reshoots, we had a very really good small low budget crew to sort of help them out, and they didn't need it.
In scary movies, characters' lives are threatened. That's the definition of a scary movie. When your life is threatened, the last thing you're doing is holding onto a camera. So most found footage movies ring not true, and that makes them not scary because of that fact. And what Chris and Travis were able to do was make a found footage movie that feels very organic. Like the camera is justified all the way throughout the movie, which makes the movie resonate in a way that most found footage movies don't. What they have to look forward to is an authentic, scary movie experience, which hasn't happened in a long time. I mean, I would describe Paranormal Activity that way, as it's authentic, like the most non-Hollywood scary movie experience. And I think that that's what they have to look forward to when they go to see The Gallows, is another movie that doesn't feel like anything else and is really terrifying.